On today's episode of Watch JR Go, we're back with my cheap Jag. The Jag that I bought for just $3,000, I think. It might have been actually a little bit less than that. But this '03 Jag needs a little bit of help with that rear alignment and a bunch of other things, as you can hear. What is going on, guys? I am Watch JR Go, and like I said, I'm out in the '03 S-Type, and if you listen, there's this little squeal coming from the rear end there. And in the last video, of course, Johnny and I were getting this thing aligned. He had to roll out for the day, and we were like, all right, let's just get this alignment done in like 10 seconds and get out of here. Well, I had been looking at the computer on the alignment machine because I know how to read the screen, and I do not know how to do alignments. I want to like make that very clear that no one knows how to do alignments. Like, you don't grow up working on cars at home and just know how to do alignments. The only thing you know how to do there usually is get your toe right with the old string and a tape measure or whatever. And I mean, maybe you could get the camber right, who knows. Most people doing alignments at home are trying to build stance cars that they want them to be as out of the line as possible. Like, you want them to be horrible for the look, right? It's for the aesthetic. Well, you do alignments on an alignment machine. And Johnny, of course, has the Hunter Hawkeye, which is the de facto standard for doing alignments. And no matter how you grew up doing alignments, you probably had an alignment machine. Well, I obviously had none of that, and I've only learned from the computer. If you've been working on cars for a while, you've probably replaced an outer tie rod or an inner tie rod or something like that that had some play in it, and then you had to kind of just set it back to where it was, and that's like the definition of an alignment at home. Well, I have all these professionals in the comments that like somehow work in tire shops or something like that telling me how to do alignments like I'm supposed to know. And I don't pretend to be an alignment expert. I just read the machine and I do what it says. And Johnny's busy doing other things, so every once in a while if I have a question I might ask him, but for the most part I try not to bother him and just figure it out on my own. Anyway, in the middle of the alignment on this thing, Johnny was like, stop looking at the computer screen, and gives me the remote. Well, the remote, when we were doing the rear of this, was set to the wrong setting. It wasn't showing rear toe, it was showing rear caster, I think. So no matter what adjustment Johnny and I were making to the toe, we just kept ending up with the opposite adjustment on the LED readout on the remote. So he was like, stop going under the car and looking at the screen, which, you know, makes sense, but I didn't want to get the remote out and have to figure out how to use that. So I was just referencing the screen, which I know how to read. Anyway, what happened was we set the wrong value on the rear end, and now the rear tires are pointed something like 15 degrees in at each other, which is why it's squealing. Luckily, I only have to drive about a mile to get over to his shop, so we're headed back there right now to fix the rear alignment on this thing, and then we should be good to go. Now, the front end was way better in the last video, but then once you get up to speed, it starts going like this, side to side, all over the place. So I think we created the world's most dangerous alignment, and it's hilarious. And you don't find out until you're going a little bit faster. Like, if we're going like 50, it starts getting out of control, and I assume at 60, even right now, you can see I can make it crab walk side to side. It has instant drift capability, and I think this is hilarious. Luckily, it's a super easy fix. The problem is, just like what just happened, it snaps over on the steering, so it can steer back and forth instantly. You can also hear that it's continuously doing a burnout as the rear tires fight each other. And we just didn't even notice. We just backed it off the alignment lift and we all went home real fast. And on the way home, I started to figure out, after I got faster and faster when I was done with the video, oh, this is bad. I would very much like to take this to an extreme and set the opposite. I'd like to put like 15 degrees one direction in the rear and make it crab walk like most of the wrecked trucks you see running around on the road. I think it would be super funny to have a crab walking Jag, but I think we're just gonna head back to Johnny's right now, fix the alignment, and then continue fixing this car so we can be done with it. I'm driving in a straight line. Oh, it's so funny. But when the pavement's really slick like that, it's a little less funny because it does kind of start to steer around on you without you giving it any steering input. And we're at the Car Ninjas. The Jag is inside on the alignment lift with the Hunter Hawkeye. This is the Hawkeye Elite. It's even illuminated up there. And I would say that most people doing alignments these days, I know there's some old school shops here, but most people are using the computer and just follow what it says. In fact, on a lot of cars, it will tell you what nuts to adjust and everything like that. A lot of times if you've worked on anything, you can just kind of look at it and know what you're going to adjust. But this computer and alignment machine is awesome. I said all of that just to preface this video with, I don't know how to do alignments, and honestly, we just make it work. And if the computer says it's good, it should be good. So anyway, here's the S-Type, and here is the back wheel, which is pretty funny. If you can't tell how far out the rear is and in the front is, I think it's pretty obvious. Well, we're like the inside of the tires, even with the fender there, and here it's like completely outside of the fender. So pretty funny. Luckily I only had to drive about 2 miles total, so we're gonna throw this thing in the air real quick, put it on the rack, and just set that toe, and that should finally get this thing done. But before we do that, let's check in on the car ninja and see what he's up to today. He's got the venerable old X5 here, and he took the whole interior out.
There is a short somewhere.
Oh no.
Yeah.
What's it doing?
Well, when you activate the wipers, you press the horn, they stop.
Oh, well, maybe it's a feature. It's like a pause button. If this was Apple, they'd just tell you it's a feature, man.
Yeah. So we're about to find out, so...
Man, I can't...
Care to join?
Let me fix the Jag and I'm coming over.
What's wrong with it?
Our alignment, our hilarious alignment. Look, it was just a pro drifting alignment. That's all we were doing.
Did you have fun with it?
Yeah, I did. 2 miles of fun. All right, I'm gonna fix it real quick. The other day they were doing an X1 in here that was like a complete interior out to replace the Prindle, which is, the sensor on the shifter itself. Obviously there's like multiple Prindles that are feeding the computer, but it needs to know the position of the shifter in the car. It needs to know the position the transmission actual selector is in, and that's how it makes all of its decisions. Well, the one in the car, it started indicating the car was always in neutral. Anyway, the whole interior came out, and we all put it back in like 15 minutes, the whole interior of the car. All of us were in there, and I have never wanted to own an X1 more. In fact, I immediately started looking for them. That's a cool car, I gotta say. I thought it was terrible when it came out. It's a cool car. Let's get to it. And this computer is very smart. I tried to roll it up onto the alignment machine, and it was like, no you don't. So that's how far out we are in the rear. I'm just gonna go ahead and try to get it close real quick, and then roll it back, roll it forward again, and hopefully we're getting closer to the target. Here we go. The magical computer now shows that rear toe is on point, and John jumped on here with me, and we helped nail the front end even a little bit more. I think the wheel was off about 1/2 degree, so we went ahead and set the steer ahead again. Thrust angle looks good. Like, it all looks good enough. It's all green. Ignore the camber. Obviously we know those are worn out bushings there. Let's pop the alignment targets off of this car, and we're gonna jump underneath and do that transmission mount. I've got a pile of parts over here. Battery's going dead with the brakes on, so hooked up the charger, and I think we're gonna do the oil change too. Kind of an everything, real quick, finish up. Take a look at that transmission mount. It is destroyed. You guys can see it moving around there a little bit as I move the screw jack. That thing is ripped in so many places, so we're gonna pop that off, just this lower bracket here, and it looks like it has 1 bolt through. Couple second job. 3 bolts start to finish is my kind of job. Which one is it? This one. We are going back in with a new Moly oil filter here. We got the good stuff for it. We've got a, drop that. We've got a new drain plug for the Jag. We have everything. And of course the trans mount is in. See that? Drop that in there, and after that, we'll see if we feel like tackling the engine mounts, which are more complicated. One of them is right there. That one looks pretty easy, but the driver's side one looks like a multi-day job. That is stuck underneath that AC compressor there. And our oil change is done. The transmission mounts in. It's probably gonna drive in a straight line. We've gotten rid of the world's worst alignment. We're gonna find out in just a moment, but first we've got one more thing that needs done. The air filter. One of the first things I could have done, but somehow it was still in the back. Also, let's go back and talk about everything else we've done to this car. Since we bought it for $3 grand, we've put well over another $1,000 into just parts. That's not time and labor here. We've done valve cover gaskets, intake gaskets, new drain plug, new filter, fresh oil, front tie rods, rear tie rods, new coolant reservoir. I mean, we kind of did everything that you could do to kind of bring the old S-Type back to life. And don't forget, all new coil packs, all new spark plugs. The spark plugs looked rough, and now it seems like it runs perfectly. I think it runs better than, well, like it did when it was new. So that's about what we were going for here. And of course, no more oil pouring down the side of the engine. That's also a very good bonus. So we're gonna get this done. It's actually super easy to do. We might have to loosen the one worm clamp right here, but the air filter on this is pretty nice. Just pop those two tabs loose. And yep, we're definitely gonna have to loosen up that screw, and then we should be good to go. Uh-oh, looks like we got a fram in there. It wasn't even installed right, it's all folded over. Well, we've seen worse. That's not the worst air filter ever. But we'll go in with our new one here, and this thing should be the wrong air filter. Well, luckily that air filter didn't look too bad after I pulled it out of there, because this one is the right length and not the right width. It dropped right into the housing. So it looks like Johnny's got a new free air filter to keep in the shop and put in a Volvo. It says right on it, suitable for Volvo, even though when I bought that, it was definitely all selected for a 3.0 Jag V6. So that's it under the hood. Let's go drive this thing around. Check it out, check it out. It drives straight down the road. No hands on the wheel. If I want, it'll just cruise. This feels amazing. Better than it has ever driven before. And it steers where you want. I actually need to get this thing out on the highway and put some speed in it now, because I don't think it'll do this weird like snap oversteer thing that it was doing before on me. So we'll actually get it up to like 60 mile an hour here and see just how much better it is, because before the car would do whatever it wanted, which was ridiculous. And now I think I'm in charge of the car, which is awesome. All right, 60 mile an hour, lane change. Oh yeah. We got it, the car drives straight now. What a win. And really all that's left on my to-do list is getting the mirror back on the windshield, which I didn't want to break the windshield, so I stopped messing with it. And a lot of people do end up breaking their windshields on these mirrors that have to be snapped on with a ton of force. So I'm waiting for Blue Collar to call me back. And if they're around, I'm gonna run over to their shop and see if they can give that thing its 90-degree twist that should lock it onto the windshield. And then it will be complete again. So that is the end of fixing the S-Type, and I think it's gonna make somebody a great driver. That is it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to head on over to shop.watchjaguar.com for cool shirts just like this. And please like, share, subscribe, do whatever you want to do, and I will talk to you next time. And now I know there was 1 or 2 comments asking about the airbag light on the dash and how I was gonna fix that. And Dana, of course, told us it's the ultrasonic sensor here that senses the passenger position in relation to the airbag, so it knows how fast and how hard to deploy there. And unfortunately, I mean, it could probably be fixed, but I bet there's probably more wrong with it than just replacing a single sensor that's right here on the pillar. So we're gonna leave that alone, and that's pretty much the end of fixing the Jag